if you don't mind, just standing so everyone can see you. First, I would like to introduce Mr. Eli Rodriguez. He is the client manager out of the and we have Mr. Vincent Sands, who is the client manager out of the Jacksonville market. Mr. Cevian Alti, based in Orlando, is our chief operations coordinator. Mr. Marcos Morales is the national director of talent acquisition management. Vincent Valentine is our regional director for the Florida region. And Lourdes Martinez, based in Orlando, is our Orlando market manager. So again, thank you for having us. Now, I did have just a few instructions, and I know that this may not be what you're used to, but who in here has a cell phone? No, it's okay. You really can't raise your phone. That's not a trick. Okay, who in here is on Twitter? Tweets? Want to tweet? Follow. So at INROADS, we do realize that social media is a very powerful tool, and I am the denoted social media guru, or Twitter girl at INROADS. However, we want you to participate in a conversation while the floor speaks. So if you would, please take out your phones.
Put them on vibrate.
Go on vibrate, go on silent. No, you cannot text your friend that you're trying to meet her across the yard after. However, please do go onto Twitter. Follow us at INROADS, INROADS, at INROADS. And the hashtag for today is #ISBI, I for INROADS and SBI. So at any point when Mr. Forest Harper says anything that piques your interest, share that with your peers. Let's see if we can get ISBI to be a trending topic for today's Tallahassee. How about that? That works? Awesome. Thank you very much, and I will turn it back over to you.
To Dean Friday Stroud and all of my fellow SBIs in attendance, I would like to welcome you to another forum in the Fall 2012 series. Today we have the esteemed pleasure of having Mr. Forest T. Harper, President and CEO for INROADS Inc. with us. Mr. Forest T. Harper, Jr. is the President and CEO of INROADS, the nation's largest nonprofit source of salaried corporate internships for outstanding and diverse students. With more than 33 years of corporate and community experience, Mr. Harper is a proven leader dedicated to community health advocacy, leadership, and talent pipeline development and organizational outreach. Prior to joining INROADS, Mr. Harper spent 28 years at Pfizer. While at Pfizer, he successfully designed and implemented new sales, product, and business and account strategies, led a number of major organizational initiatives, and achieved substantial business results. Mr. Harper began his career with Pfizer after serving for 6 years in the United States Army, 82nd Airborne Division, where he achieved the rank of captain. He is a member of the Executive Leadership Council and independent nonprofit corporation for senior African American executives for Fortune 500 companies, whose mission is to build inclusive business leadership pipeline and to develop African American corporate leaders, one student and one executive at a time. Members of the council work to achieve this goal through a variety of initiatives and programs. Mr. Harper is also a proud member of the National Society of Persian Rifles Alumni Association. His leadership bandwidth spans from former secretary and member of the executive committee of the Board of Trustees for National Arthritis Foundation to the Board of Directors, member for the National Council for Aging. Harper holds a BA in social work from Morgan State University, Baltimore, Maryland, and attended an executive leadership training at Harvard Business School in Boston, Massachusetts. A native of Fort Pierce, Florida, he and his family currently reside in Atlanta, Georgia. Without further ado, Mr. Forest T. Harper.
Good afternoon, SBI.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, SBI.
Good afternoon.
Today, you will gain an advantage over anybody working to get into corporate America or the government, because you are an SBI, and you are the nation's best at what you do. So don't let me down. If you're going to sleep early. because the message will come late. All right? If you're going to talk, talk early because the message is going to come late. But don't miss the message at the end. The goal is to give you an advantage so that when you go out, you're going to be prepared. And you're going to be prepared to compete because you need the advantage of not only what you're gaining right now from the wonderful education you're getting from Florida A&M University and the School of Business and Industry, but you need to gain the advantage in every dimension you possibly can. So I'm excited to be here today. I'd just like to first of all give appropriate shout outs to the right people. First of all, if you thought about going to Morgan State University, that's okay. You probably would not have made it in. Secondly, there's rule. Secondly, I would like to just make sure that you know that I'm not in a Greek fraternity, but I did pledge PR, and I'm a gallant member, alumni of the Persian Rifles. So I just want you to know. And by the way, Colin Powell was a Persian Rifle, so hold on. And the faculty is going, wow, is this a corporate speaker? Yes, it is. The next thing is that, is David Coble in the room? I hope he made it here today. If he did, right here, folks. David, stand up. David is from Atlanta, Georgia, freshman on the baseball team here at FAMU. He's from the ATL. Let's give him a big hand. I'm proud he's here because I did promise his parents that he was in class, and I would validate that, so you don't take that. All right? Let me just share this with you. I think that a couple things today is going to make me very happy. And that is, number one, you gain something from what I'm going to share with you. Number two, I'm going to walk you through my journey so that you understand the appreciation of the struggle, success, and significance of why I do what I do today. I'm an evangelist about talent and being successful. I want you to make my job easier by becoming the most successful in whatever you do today. And first of all, I want to thank the faculty. I want to thank the student body for allowing INROADS to come into your home today. And let's start out by talking about history. Well, first of all, imagine this. Back in 1963, a white stately gentleman by the name of Frank Carr was invited to get on a bus in Chicago to come to a little small rally in Washington, D.C. This rally was talking about injustices across the nation that involved unemployment, that involved racial equality, and a number of other things. And Frank Carr had this vision that if he went to this little small rally called the March on Washington, that he would help to do a couple of things. But it just so happens this is the speech that we all know as the famous I Have a Dream speech that he attended. And when Frank Carr attended the speech, a lot of people attended the great speech in Washington. A lot of people left that speech with great intentions, and only a few left with great action plans. Frank Carr left with an action plan that was called INROADS. So it took him 7 years to build it, and when he built it, this inspiration he got was about a mission that he wanted to correct an injustice in America. And an injustice was that there was just as many talented, very important students and very important youth that were from the barrios and the ghettos of America, but were not getting opportunities and access to corporate America. And he wanted to right that injustice. So he created the vision around INROADS. And in this vision, the mission is very simple: to develop and place talented, underserved students in business and industry and prepare them for what? For leadership in both the community and corporate America. Because he felt that you needed to be balanced. And then when Frank Carr went out to do this, we now can fast forward to give you a sense of what was built back then. So in the history, INROADS then, Father Carr went to, and I call him Father Carr because that's what he finished in his life before he left this earth. But he started with one office, 17 corporate sponsors he went to and asked them would they give students an internship from the inner cities of Chicago, and 25 interns. Now we fast forward later, today, where we have over 35 offices throughout the country, over 230 corporations. Just think about that, over 230 corporations, Fortune 500 and regional companies, like Pepsi and others. You'll see an example of it. And over 1,700 interns a year. And we've amassed over 25,000 alumni across the globe. And when you looked at it, he indicated that if he could get these companies to agree, then they would show that you are just as talented and the people who are coming up in were just as talented. So with that in mind, our board of directors as a nonprofit organization lead us and guide us to understanding what it's going to take for us to compete in the global economy and in the U.S. Well, when you have these type of board members on your national board that are the corporations that hire in corporate America, you've got a connection automatically. Before you even go out and have an opportunity to interview with a company, these companies sit on our national board of directors. So we're in tune and with line with corporate America. We're talking to them every single day. With that in mind, these are just a few of the snapshot of our corporate partners. From retail sales, to IT, to snacks and drinks, to pharmaceuticals, to communications, to financials. We entertain over 27 majors that we focus on that supply these companies. Just because you're IT major doesn't mean you go to Google, because Target needs IT majors too. So think about the connections we have on our board and our partners. And then when you look at it, who's focused on diversity and inclusion? As Frank Carr, we had the vision of ensuring that INROADS would impact the composition of the makeup of diversity and inclusion in corporate America. And until we get there, INROADS will be vibrant, and we are already there in parts of it that we know that 8 of the top 10 of the 20 Diversity Inc. 2012 companies are our partners, and we're on our way. And they know the value because, simply put, they simply can make an impact on the composition of corporate America through the pipeline. And that's you. And with that in mind, companies like Kraft Foods and Colgate and others are there. But when you also look at it, we have companies that come back to us year after year after year because they want to do one thing. They want to be on the top 10 list of companies that take in INROADS interns and then convert those into full-time jobs and careers. And when you look at them, these are some of the companies that are the hallmarks of the U.S. economy. And they truly have, vibrant, lucrative, innovative, and cultural jobs that we think will impact you in your life. With that in mind, our value proposition is one thing. It's our alumni. Our alumni is a value proposition that we know that the model works. Because if you do our program and get through the process and you successfully intern, you'll end up with companies that give you the opportunity, but you'll end up with the altitude of getting to the C-suite and getting to be CEOs like Steve Davis, the CEO of Bob Evans Restaurant. So the next time you eat in the Bob Evans Restaurant, you know you've been touched by INROADS. And the next time you send a UPS package, or your mom and dad sends you that good package that you've been waiting on for those nice gift bags, right? It's run, the general counsel is an INROADS alum. And I could go on and on and on to all of these officers. But I also want you to know that we fulfill the executive pipeline and even other companies that didn't show up. I don't have enough screens and enough slides to show you where our alumni are. And we brag on our alumni because the model works. And given the opportunity, we can help you get to be part of the pipeline and fulfill these roles when these executives have gone on to retire. And with that in mind, the proof point doesn't stop there. We know that SBI is an institution of outcome and research. We know you do tracking. We know you do metrics, because that's what SBI is all about. Well, we do it too. We're a nonprofit, but we're super good on measuring what we do in outcomes. This is research we've just recently done with our alumni. And basically, 30% have had 4 or more promotions in their first 5 years on the job. We also know that 41% have a master's degree or higher. And when we see that, we also compare them to the benchmark. Not only that, the single most important thing is that less than 4% are unemployed. I want you to remember this number. Because when you put the effort into it, and you become a pipeline talent of INROADS, you're working and earning an income. And we beat every statistical piece of the unemployment rate out there. So when you hear the noise about the unemployment rate, I want you to think about INROADS and why you got to get good academic standards and keep your grades high and work hard and be the first of the class and get it done. Because if you come to us, we're going to help you be a part of this statistic to get to 100%. Because we got the evidence. Not only that, INROADS provides an opportunity for scholastics and also for scholarship. INROADS and our alumni outpace any other scholarship because our scholarships come from whom? Corporations. And our scholarships outpace in this report through INROADS more than any other scholarships on the board there based on our alumni research. So we've got the formula for getting you the exposure and the access to corporate America, but you have to come to the A game. Because over the last several years, FAMU total has given us over nearly 300 students to come through these walls, to include the famous, or the infamous, Oscar Joyner, who now runs the Tom Joyner Foundation. Yes, the Tom Joyner. That's just one. The tie I'm wearing today, he's not an alum, but I'm wearing an entrepreneur tie from INROADS. Kwame Jackson from The Apprentice. So we've got entrepreneurs, we've got people in corporate America, and we've got people in foundations, we've got alumni all over the place. How do we get it done? It's called our continuum. We began our career continuum to the C-suite knowing that our ultimate goal is to get you to be a CEO or the C-suite or a senior director in corporate America or the government. Because the government is a viable partner too. You didn't see, we actually have the Federal Reserve and 8 Federal Reserves across the country. We have internships. The Office of Comptroller and Currency in the United States, we have interns there as well. Our process is very strong and very simple. We focus on starting with the pre-college as a part of our core where students come from high school or our high school partners. And we talk to our high school partners to share the information about INROADS. So if you've got a young brother or sister that's coming through high school now as a junior or senior, do me a favor. When you talk this weekend, tell them about INROADS. Tell them about when they get an opportunity to come and learn more about INROADS before you get to college. College Core, our 2-year undergraduate program is our core model. Rising sophomore, we call it. You have to have 2 years left, 2 summers left of school, and then you can be a part of the program by meeting the other standards that we have academically. Go on our website, you can find it, and they'll tell you what our academic requirements are. But once you get on board and you complete those 2-year undergraduate career opportunities in terms of internships, we make sure that when you go on that internship, you are getting the experience of a lifetime. You're getting an opportunity to show a corporation what your skills and your unique abilities are all about. We want you to knock it out of the ballpark because we want you to have them